Hi, I'm the Adobe guy. Now, as promised, I'm going to show you here how to work on the same one I did in the last video, which is hyperlinks to a certain view within the drawing. But this time we're going to complicate things a little. We're going to start working in 3D. So I'll open up AutoCAD here, and just to show you what I've done here, I've taken the same shape, except I've now extruded that shape, and as you can see, I've made it 3D. Now what you'll notice is the links on the right, the text links, obviously with some views these become unusable. So as I rotate it around, imagine I want to view this part here, so I zoom in and imagine this is going to be one of my views. The text links would be almost unusable there. Equally, if I want to spin around to see a different part of the image, the text links, even if they were usable, they'd be upside down. So it makes life a little bit difficult for me. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the view I had before. Okay, and I'll close that one down. Okay, just to make it slightly easier to work on, I'm going to start by setting my views again. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to go into View Manager, and I'm going to call this view full once more. In fact, I'm going to call it Home, just for the sake of doing that. Because this is what I'd normally do. I'd call it Home as a home view. And I'm going to click OK. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into one of the zooms that I want, and I'm going to go into my bottom right view. So I want to be in this view here. I'm just going to zoom right in, and I'm going to pan it so that I can actually see what I'm talking about, and just zoom in a wee bit more maybe. Okay, this is going to be my BR view. Okay, but when I'm in my BR view, I don't want to see this text here. So I'm going to go back into Home. I'm going to go into my layers, and what I've done is I've put main links, which are these, and they're actually on a layer here separately. So I can turn that layer on or off. And what I've also done is I've put a little icon here on another layer called Home Link. And this is going to have a link on it which goes back to my home view. So I'll just go over that. Okay. Let's see, at the moment it's got a link. Now, the reason I've used a sphere or a ball is because it's not going to change. Whenever I orbit, if I change my orbit around, it's not going to change the sphere. It's still going to appear as a sphere. If I'd used text and then I adjusted my view, it might be slightly awkward. So what people have to get used to is just whatever symbol you've used and use it throughout. And I've set this up as a block with the link on it already. So just go into it, edit, create this once, and then in every single view that you use, put this icon in there somewhere. People will pretty quickly get used to the idea that that icon goes back to the home view. Okay, back into Views, View Manager. Okay, new view, and this one is going to be called BR for bottom right. Okay. Just make sure that the layers are updated and click Apply. There we go. Now I'm going to nip into my 3D tool again. I'm going to whiz round here to another view. Now this is the top right view, but you'll notice that this time I'm looking at the upper end of the drawing, so any text I had would be upside down. Now because I've changed my layers, you see here the layer state is still the same. So my main links, which are the text that was over here, that's turned off. My home link, which is these icons here, that's turned on. Now I'd already placed this one here, so that's in position. Okay, so this is going to be my TR view, which is top right. There you go, there's a top right view, and click OK. I just update layers just to make sure it's updated, and that's there. Okay, now this ball here, this is preset as a block, and what I've done is I've created the block and I then linked it through to my home view. So when I do control click on it, it goes back to this view, which is home. Again, as before, I had these two set up to zoom to top right or bottom right. That zooms into there. Control click on my ball takes me back to the home view, and that takes me to top right view. And clicking on the ball takes me back to the home view. So there we have it. Looking at hyperlinks to different views in 3D but also with some layer control, because you notice in the full view I've got these text links available, and yet when I go into one of the other views the text links are gone, but I've got the ball, which is my return to home view, available. Now, as I say, one thing to be careful of, just make sure you use some consistency here, so use the same ball throughout. Now obviously if I was scaled in, so if I was zoomed in a bit more on this one, zoomed into some specific detail here, I might not want the ball so big. So I'd select the ball and maybe scale the ball down so I can reduce it down. I don't want to reduce it too far. I'm just going to put in a scale factor of 1/2 just to make it slightly smaller. And that's what I mean by consistency. So just keep the actual ball, the size of the ball, or the apparent size of the ball the same, rather than the actual size of the ball. And that way the ball size looks the same no matter how far you're zoomed in on the object. Okay, well, I hope that one's been useful for you guys again. I'm the Adobe guy, and thanks for listening.